Welcome to Roughing It with Ruth, the channel where everything is a bit rough around the edges. Yup, you're reading that caption correctly. I was meaning to do this DIY with this gorgeous creature, but for the first time in his entire existence, he decided that he wanted to go to bed at 5 o'clock. So I got this gorgeous creature to do it with me instead, and it went really well.
You had one job, Thomas. You had one job. For any of the lip readers out there, if you can hear me, save me from my wife. She's keeping me trapped here.
He's exaggerating. He can leave as soon as he turns this cat food can into a stove. Which is super easy, by the way. You just take out the cat food and tell your husband that it's supper. Then peel the label off and start punching holes in the can with your punch pliers. You basically just want to make one row of holes around the top of the can fairly close together, and then a second row of holes a bit further apart just below that. Amidst the tedium of watching a grown man punch holes in a can, I came to a startling realization. I'd been married to a middle-aged Harry Potter lookalike this whole time. There was just one thing missing.
Why are you doing this to me, Ruth?
I just need you to have a lightning-shaped scar.
See? Perfect!
I called you middle-aged Luna Lovegood. You're not going to take it well, though.
I like Luna Lovegood.
Once you've finalized which Harry Potter character you look like and that nobody is middle-aged, this is what your cat food can should look like. The fuel that we're going to be using is methylated spirits, which I believe is called denatured alcohol in other parts of the world. Either way, both of them are poisonous, so make sure that you label whatever container you put it in. The very first time you light your can, you might just want to let it burn on its own, because as the plastic on the inside burns off, it might leave a residue on your cooking pot. And remember that the stove is basically just an open flame, so please be careful around it. Make sure that you have some way to extinguish it safely on hand, and don't use it inside of a tent or near anything flammable. It's also worth noting that if you get overzealous like Harry Potter here, and put your pot onto your stove as soon as you've lit it without waiting for the alcohol to warm up first, then you're probably going to snuff the flame or make it burn very, very slowly like this. If you're a little more patient though and you allow the alcohol to warm up sufficiently first, then when you put the pot on, it will look like this. Many of you have probably already gathered this, but this does mean that using an alcohol stove in colder weather can be a little tricky. And as you can no doubt tell by the flames burning up the sides of the pot, it's much more efficient to use a larger, flatter pot than a taller, narrower one. Even with the inefficient pot, it still does boil water though. If you use the lid of your cooking pot to snuff the stove, then just remember to wash it out before you eat food from it. And of course, the most important rule about alcohol stoves is that no one is middle-aged. For instance, someone of any age could manage to almost burn their fingers off a couple of times trying to light the alcohol stove with a Bic lighter. So if you got all the way through this process and you still like each other enough to actually go hiking and use your stove outdoors, I suggest making a windshield. You can use heavy-duty foil, or you can use a coffee can that you modify with some air holes around the bottom. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one.